good evening. Welcome back. Yet another season preview. Aren't you sick of us? I'm sick of my voice.
I'm sick of us as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say sick of my voice. Yeah, it's like a cheeky bugger. Anyway, we're headed all the way down south today, and we're giving Southampton the season preview treatment. But my name is Sam, and joining me, as always, it's got to be done, is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How are you doing? You exhausted yet? Or
I am a little bit. I jumped in a bit early again. I did that on the Palace one. I did it again. So for the next one, I won't promise.
We've got the returning guest today.
Yes.
From the Perspective podcast.
And I'll leave you to it because I messed it up last time, didn't I?
Yeah, he did.
I got the name wrong. I know your name, obviously, but just in case.
Got, from the Perspective podcast, good friend of the podcast, Omar Garrick. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you for having me on again.
That's all right. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for coming back, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Looking forward to it.
So, Saints, what are your overriding thoughts going into the season about Southampton?
I think with Southampton, okay, let's judge it from the transfer window first off. I think there's been a lot of outgoings. The particular big ones were Ryan Bertrand. He's gone on a free to Leicester. Mario Lemina, he's gone to Nice for an undisclosed fee. Angus Gunn, the keeper, he's gone to Norwich City, which I think is actually a good signing for Norwich. I think they've done some really good business. But Southampton have, brought in a couple of good players. I think Romain Peru is the replacement for Ryan Bertrand. He played for, I think it was Stade Brest or Nice. So he signed for about 10 million euros, and I think he got about 3 goals and about 7 assists from left backs, which is pretty good going. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. But also as well, I think there's this Chelsea player that Southampton signed called Daniel Simiyu. He's an under-19 England international, signed for about £1.5 million. And just speaking to some of the Chelsea supporters that I know, they say he's a real talent, and he could thrive. But I think part of the problem with Southampton's recruitment, in a sense, is that they don't have as much money compared to a lot of the teams around where you consider them in their position. I mean, look at Crystal Palace's business this summer. It's been absolutely sensational. Yeah. I think they're going to be real stars going into the season. But Southampton have got some good players. I think the one big one is the Danny Ings situation, which is still a bit unresolved. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that? But if they can keep him, then I think they might be all right. I think they will do well. And I mean, Hassan Hutter, I think he's a brilliant player. So, I mean, brilliant manager. So that's how I see it so far at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. To be fair, I can't see many scenarios where Southampton go down.
No,
I can't see it.
I think they got too much quality.
Yeah. So they were 15th last year, weren't they? So
yeah, 15th. The thing is, there was a massive drop off in the second half of the season, and I think a lot of that was to do with the players just running out of steam, running out of energy. Because if you see the way Ralph Hasenhüttl plays, he's got the nickname of being the Austrian Klopp, because
it's that press in football, isn't it?
The Jurgen press is what they call it. And I think, towards the first half of the season, Southampton were absolutely sensational. In the top half of the table, they were on a brilliant winning streak, near the top 4, I think, at one point. So I think the key for Southampton's success is maybe keeping up the stamina and keeping up the energy throughout the season, because Hasenhüttl requires a lot from all of his players. I think that will be the key to Southampton's success this season. I do.
Yeah, I looked through the squad, though. I think there's a lot of quality there. I think Vestergaard is a far better player, having been at the Euros as well.
Yeah. I was going to pick him out. I was going to say, like Vestergaard is one of those players that you can see, like, he's almost like the Southampton Van Dijk. Well, I mean, Van Dijk was with Southampton, but he's like sort of that reincarnation of Van Dijk that I think Southampton needed just to like solidify the defense.
Massive as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he?
About 6'4", I think. Yeah. I think, Vestergaard is one player that I think could surprise a few this season. And also another one that I really like the look of is Kyle Walker-Peters. Yeah. I think he really, his role was very undeserved. Well, not undeserved, but it went very unnoticed kind of last season. Obviously, Southampton fans kind of knew what he was about, but I don't think many expected him to kind of put in the performances that he did at right back. And when he did get injured, he was a big miss. So I think he could surprise a few this season, to be honest, Kyle Walker-Peters, if he keeps his fitness up. But in terms of the midfield, I mean, James Ward-Prowse for me, I think he should have gone to the Euros personally.
Do you think though, looking, because I see it that I think it's probably benefited Southampton that he didn't go to the Euros. If he'd gone to the Euros and had presumably the kind of summer that Declan Rice or Calvin Phillips had, because he would have been playing in similar sort of roles, or positions rather than roles, there would be a real possibility that Saints could lose him to a bigger club. And now I think he's staying, isn't he? So,
yeah, he'll definitely stay. And I think the way to get the best out of Ward-Prowse is probably playing him in more of that advanced position rather than that box-to-box role. Because if you see him, he's got so much creativity about him. He's got assists in him. He's got probably arguably the best delivery in the Premier League, probably just behind Kevin De Bruyne, I would say, in terms of technical ability. So I think he could be a key player, but I'll come back to this again. The Danny Ings situation, I think, needs to be solved instantly, because I don't think so. I don't like saying Southampton would go down, but I think if they don't go into that season without Danny Ings and without a striker or without someone coming in, then I think they could really, really struggle. Because I just don't.
Do you not feel that Shea Adams is an adequate replacement for him?
Shea Adams is a good replacement. I think he had his best. He had a really good season last season. Well, better than his debut season when he came in from Birmingham, but I still think you need a backup striker, if especially if Danny Ings goes, because if you've only got that one extra option, then sometimes the goals may dry out. And as we've seen from Shea Adams, well, judging it so far, I don't think you can truly rely on him as a reliable goal scorer compared to the likes of Ings. Because Ings, I mean, he was getting about over 15 goals a season in I think it was in his last 3 seasons or something, which is just absolutely sensational. So I still think Southampton will need a backup if Danny Ings left. But I think with Ings, I think the thing is he's waiting. He doesn't want to sign a new deal because I think he's waiting for one of the top 6 clubs to come in for him, because there's an appetite from at the moment from Chelsea, from Manchester City. You can even argue United really for wanting a backup striker, for needing a backup striker. And you've seen with the likes of Erling Haaland and Harry Kane, I think they're being priced out of a move. Yeah. So I think Danny Ings, I mean, he ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of Premier League clubs. So that's one area which I would be concerned about, yeah.
I struggle to see where the sort of fear factor for the opposition comes in if Ings goes.
Theo Walcott, mate.
Well, yeah, he signed permanently now, isn't he?
Yeah, he signed on a permanent deal, which I thought was I thought that was a good deal, to be fair to do. I thought he was okay last season. I wouldn't say he was amazing, but maybe now he's there permanently. He may play with his heart on his sleeve. So we'll have to wait and see. It's an interesting one, Theo Walcott. It's touch and go, as I like to say.
Touch and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Walcott's going to be one of them players who's just, his experience is just invaluable as well. Like, you know, it'd be big in the dressing room, and I think that's a large part of why they've brought him back. So we'll see. Yeah. Do you think he'll play regularly? Like, because he wasn't massively
semi-regular though. Yeah. Semi-regular.
I think, yeah, he'll come in because I think he's about 32, 33 years of age now. So I don't think you can expect a player of that age to play every single game, because the Premier League is, I just think for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons, I think the intensity is just gone up a level. Like
particularly with, like you said, Hasenhüttl's.
Yeah, exactly. With all with all the kind of managers that we see in the Premier League now, Klopp, Guardiola, Hasenhüttl. I mean, I'd even say, well, Thomas Tuchel now as well. He likes to play on the front foot with the press as well, even though he does play with the back 3. But I don't think he'll be able to play every game. I think a lot of Southampton's youth academy system will be relied upon this season, especially if they don't get more recruitment in. But I still think I still think there needs to be I still think there needs to be another fullback in there for a bit of depth. I think Hassan Hootel said he wanted a number 6 in there as well, kind of to offer some depth for Oriol Romeu, because I think Romeu is the only real number 6 that there is available for Southampton. And when you're playing on the front foot, you need that defensive stability. You need that sort of midfielder to kind of help the back four. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, the defense needs to get a bit sorted. I think, they need a midfielder. And depending on the Danny Ings situation, I think they need a striker. But it remains to be seen whether that all happens.
We were chatting with our Crystal Palace fan, DR, and it strikes me the similar thing. The first 5 fixtures for Southampton: Everton, United, Newcastle, West Ham, City.
Not easy.
No, it's not easy at all.
Not easy, but you can look at it either one or two ways. You can either look at it and be positive and say, well, if you get out of that 5, then you've got a decent run in near a very tight December period. And December is either where you either stay up or you go down. I think that's what makes it, really. I think a lot of the relegation battles you've seen in recent times have been decided in that period. The same with title races as well. I think December is such a crucial time in the season because there's so many games and it's such a congested fixture list. So if Southampton can get through those 5 games, as you said, I mean, they surprised a few last season. I mean, if they start as well as they did last season, then who knows what could happen? Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. It's a tricky one. I have a bit of confidence, but at the same time, no. Because you just never know with the Premier League, and you never know with who can upset who. Games are just so hard in the Premier League. I always say that.
Truth be told, sorry, just to interrupt. The only fixture I would say would be 100% dead cert would be the Man City one. 99% sure I can't see Southampton winning that one. No. But they're not easy fixtures. United not an easy fixture. Everton, not easy. Newcastle probably a bit easier. But even West Ham, I don't think West Ham are a very easy fixture anymore. Either. No. But I don't think they're impossible.
How they turn up this year, the West Ham.
Yeah. Could they suffer a little bit from sort of the backwash of last season? I don't know. I wouldn't want to say. Yeah, exactly.
I think also as well, what you've seen with the big clubs, this has been a bit of a weird pre-season in the sense that a lot of people have had kind of different holiday periods because of the Euros. And I think you see a lot with the top 6 clubs, they're playing a lot of their under-19s, kind of like their second teams. So when they actually get all of their first team players together, I think it would be around about the start of the season, and who knows how they're going to gel together? Who knows what their fitness is going to be like? I think you have to really take that into account. So we'll just have to wait and see, because I think it also depends on which players are available and how fit and firing they are.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So a 15th finish last year. Can you give us your exclusive perspective podcast prediction? The 3 Ps that rolled off the tongue beautifully.
I'm gonna say Southampton 11th. I'd say decent. I think that'd be a decent season. I think Southampton fans will be happy with that. To be honest with you, considering the budget, considering the constraints they have from Gao Zhaisheng and his board, because he hardly spends any money. So. And I think they will. I'm going to say they're going to finish above Wolves. I don't know what it is, but Bruno Lage, he's a new manager from the Portuguese league. I think Wolves and Southampton are going to be very close with each other, because Southampton don't really have as much money as Wolves do. But I think Wolves are going to take some time adjusting to Bruno Lage's ways, because he likes to play on the front foot, apparently. And I don't think they've been used to that under Nuno, because he likes to sit back,
very defensive, yeah,
very defensive. So I'm going to go 11th, Southampton.
Lovely. Can I just say thank you for telling me how to say Bruno Lage's name, because we've got a Wolves one next week, and I was fully prepared to go in and call him Bruno Lager.
Lager, yeah.
So thank you for that, Omar. Cheers.
No
Just quickly before we go, could you pick out your Southampton player to watch this season?
Southampton player. I'm going to go Kyle Walker-Peters. I think Kyle Walker-Peters. He could surprise a few because I just think he's got a lot of good qualities as a fullback. I saw a lot of him last season, and I was very impressed every time he played. So, Kyle Walker-Peters is the one for me. Yeah.
The thing that strikes me about Walker-Peters is he's a small player, like in stature wise.
Yeah.
But he defends really well as well.
Defends
as going
really
forward.
well. Yeah. Gets back a bit as well. He reminds me. He's got like obviously not as good as Wan-Bissaka, but his tackling is very similar to Wan-Bissaka's in the sense that he can get his legs stuck around an oppositional player's legs, and he does that exceptionally. And I also think he's got that kind of agility, kind of like a Tariq Lamptey.
I was about to say Tariq Lamptey. He reminds me quite a lot. I would have picked Kyle Walker-Peters. Mine, even Yannick Vestergaard as well. Like played to. I know
mine
he had a pretty good season.
Go on, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say he had a good season last year, but I'd like to see him have an even better one. There we are.
Yeah.
Mine was the new boy, Romain Perrault. Is that what you're saying?
I'm very curious to see what he could be like because
I've read a lot of really good things about him as well.
Yeah. So have I. His stats are very, very impressively good. I know a lot of people, kind of go on this logic that just because we're the Premier League, it doesn't mean a lot of people are going to have to adjust and stuff. But I think we've seen with players such as Ruben Diaz as well. I don't think we can be elitist with Premier League football. I think there's plenty of good players abroad on a continental level as well. And I don't think we can be like that. I think obviously it will take a bit of time adjusting to the physicality of the Premier League, but I don't think you can rule players out like that now. So I agree. I think he could be a really interesting watch this season.
There we are. Well, that brings us to the end of our Southampton season preview. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Omar, for joining us. Do you wanna spend a minute plug in your podcast, tell people where they can find you?
So you can just follow the Perspective podcast. It's at perspectivepod_. Hopefully we have some brand new content coming up for the upcoming season. So just tune in to us.
Lovely stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you very soon for the Man United season preview. I say very soon. We're recording it immediately.
Yeah.
For the purposes of this, I was going for some movie magic kind of thing there, but no, we'll see you in a minute. But thank you guys for listening. Another one down. I don't know how many to go. Something like 13, maybe 12, 11, something like that. I'm not
more maths, mate. More maths. I don't know.
Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll catch you soon. It's all right.
Take care.